Welcome back to a new video. So we are into the off season after making the playoffs and quickly getting bounced. We do have to find a new trainer, but just looking at our team history, so 2 straight years making the playoffs, but a worse playoff performance, not making out of the wild card. We won 2 less games than last year, a worse team average, much better pitching, scored a lot less runs, but gave up a lot less runs. So this year is very odd with how much we scored and gave up, and still had success, and it went up tremendously from there. So I think this is just kind of a statistical anomaly. I would imagine that our runs scored and allowed will probably not be at these 2 numbers. So just kind of a weird 2-year stretch, I think, probably for the league in general, and probably not just for our team. But we need to find a trainer. So I don't necessarily have the best strategy, I don't think, to finding a trainer. I try to look for prevent arms, but I don't know. I don't know if there's like a generally better strategy to find someone that's generally good at everything. But someone like this, I think, would be fine. Legendary, prevent arms, prevent back. Everything else is okay besides rehab arms, so that's probably not ideal. We can go to someone like him who has poor rehab for legs. So I mean, in theory, I would guess this guy would be a little bit better. Plus he has 0 years of experience, which means that he will most likely be able to be a trainer for a while. At least you hope. You don't really want to be trying to find one every year. So we do want to make some trades as well, of course. We'll look at our staff roles. So we have static. I've never actually seen it that high, so that's pretty cool. Let's look at our salary arbitration to see who is around here. So 30-year-old starting pitcher. We can look to see if we can get for him. His arbitration is only 3.6 million, so not a ton. So we're not too worried about retaining him if that is the case. But if we can maybe get someone a little bit younger, or really anyone, we could potentially look to move on from him. But it doesn't appear that there's anyone particularly interested other than some overpaid relievers, and we can see if there's any sort of prospects. Doesn't look like there is. We might still honestly just keep him. It's a pretty low risk investment to keep. Spencer Schwallenbach, we definitely want to keep. He had a good year. His arbitration is only 6.5 million, and he's a solid 3 stars. Tim Herron, same kind of boat, although he's not full 3 stars. Left-handed pitcher, pretty good here. Porter Hodge, pretty cheap as well. Mason Miller, 3 stars, 11 millions next year, and 6 to 7 months out with his torn elbow. So we can look to potentially try to trade him to see if there's anyone that would be a taker of him. It looks like we could get good old Josh Naylor back. He's actually on the Yankees now, which is kind of funny, or an overpaid. So basically we get an overpaid first baseman for him. So I think we will continue to keep him. I'm not too worried about him being on our team. Curtis Mead, he's kind of an interesting fellow. So we got him halfway through the year from Detroit. 40 games with us, a 243 average. Not too much power or anything like that. He is a first baseman, so you kind of want someone with a little bit more pop in his bat. And it's also a position where it is quite easy to find other first basemen that are able to play that position. So we could potentially trade him away to get someone that has a bit more value. Right off the bat, Oswald Peraza has a lot more potential value for us as a middle infielder with a similar skill level as him in general. So that would be one trade that we can look to make. We can get Jason Dominguez. I guess he hasn't really developed, but that's a really interesting one as well. If we can get Daniel Schneemann back, looks like he's not really making it up at the top level with them. So I don't know why the Yankees want to get rid of Jason Dominguez, but that's certainly someone that I would be interested in. This is bothering me right now to have his strategy on there, so we're just going to go ahead and take that off. We're going to sort and look at our outfielders. So right now we have Torkelson, which he had a good year last year, but kind of risky to continue to have him. He could always degrade and then kind of leave us hanging in that regard. Jason Turrio is locking down center field for us. John Kenzie Noel, 26 home runs with only a 224 average, so he's someone that could potentially go to first, DH, and then Cooper Ingle is not just a right fielder, but also a catcher for us. So Adley played pretty poorly last year as far as hitting. So I think the trade for Jason Dominguez is probably going to be the best bet for us. A really interesting, usually never available, especially for a first baseman who can play a little bit of second and third, but not really useful outside of that. Jason Dominguez is useful in the outfield, is a good defensive outfielder. So, I mean, probably could have him play first as well if we really needed it. We also need to try to get some we need to get some actual money from them, so we don't want this two-star player. We're just going to throw on someone that we know that they won't want to trade us, and we'll see if we can get $20 million from him. So would have to give up a lot. Colt Keith would be an interesting person to give as well, but I kind of want to keep him there for our second baseman, so we'll cut this number in half. So it looks like we're getting a lot closer now. So we can look to potentially right here might be a decent person. Looks like he made it up at the major league level. I believe he is a 2.5-star reliever, but struggled in AAA, struggled at the majors. Really, the last 2 years. I guess he only played 2 games the year before. But someone for $10 million, we can definitely move off of to allow us to actually get Jason Dominguez. We'll fix these lineups really quick since they were optimized for the playoffs. And so now we have Jason Dominguez there. We got an extra $10 million. Didn't have to give up too much for that. Jace Jung, kind of someone that we like. Both these guys we don't really need. They didn't hit very well. 217, 216. And then John Kensington, well, even though, so that's really a difference. If you look at Jace Jung, he batted 216, but he only had 3 home runs for us. I guess it was only in 24 games, but did not hit for a high average. I guess for us, he actually hit pretty well. So 286. So he actually hit pretty well for us. So this line is actually a little bit deceptive. And we look at Ryan Reeder, he definitely, only 14 home runs in a season, played most of a year. So what about like 118 games? So, I mean, a decent amount of games and only a 217 average. So we definitely look to move off him. We're going to keep John Kensington well. Chase Slaughter was a big part of our offense and he got hurt at the end of the year. So we can look to move off him. See if we can. So there is a decent amount of interest for him. See if we can get someone. Marcelo Meyer down there seems like someone that would be interesting. A little bit younger, middle infielder. So would be able to fill in that slot. Interesting catching players, but we don't really need a catcher right now. We still have Engel and Adley Rushman. We could get Khalil Watson back. We could just keep trading for him every year. His average is just crazy low though. So if we just look at Major League, 202, 158, 179, 182, so 167 total average. All levels combined, total is a 225 average. Just kind of crazy how low his average is for someone that doesn't, I mean, he doesn't have like great stats for hitting, but you would imagine just a little bit more. Yofri Solano, 23-year-old second baseman. Looks like he can play middle infield and has a minor league contract as well. So that is also a very interesting player that we could look just to trade straight up. Plus he has a minor league contract as well. Looks like we can get some starting pitching. There's quite a lot of interest in Ryan Reeder. I guess he's only 27. He's not really, a bad player per se, but we can look to potentially make an upgrade and also, get some financial considerations as well, which will allow us to re-sign some of the players that we still need to look at. So really, I'm torn. We look between the Marcelo Meyer here. He has a year of major league experience, or at least he played the last 2 years with a 212 and a 220 average, so pretty low average. Let's see if he did. So it's only 2 years in the majors. He only plays shortstop, so would be a safer pick in the sense since he has that major league experience, but his upside is potentially pretty good with a solid 3 stars. And then if we look down at the 23-year-old, if we can find him. went past him. I guess there's a right fielder as well, but we certainly want one of the middle infielders if we can. I lost the second baseman. I wish there was a way to like highlight players when you're on this screen, but unfortunately I don't think there is. So Yofri Solano, he hasn't played at the major league level yet. His career minor league average is 298. In AAA last year, he batted 340. Actually had 16 home runs, so a little bit of pop to the bat. And then if we look at his ratings, pretty good at avoiding Ks, contact's pretty good at both. So he's certainly seeming like the, in a sense, riskier, but I kind of like this pick more, or like this trade a little bit more. And we'll throw in a bunch of money to see if we can throw him another player. So we're actually pretty close. So like someone like Porter Hodge, honestly, for $55 million, he had a 4.53 ERA this year and a 4.41, and actually played in AAA a lot of the year last year. Is going to kind of be a reliever for us and is pretty replaceable. So I will certainly throw him in there for that kind of trade. So now we can look back at salary arbitration. Jason Dominguez is on here. It's going to be $8 million, but really like a 259 average, 15 home runs, like that's pretty good for an outfield position. And that kind of opens up John Kinsey Noel to potentially be a first baseman, or ideally be a DH, probably, since he's not the best outfielder. And then Jason Dominguez, good hitter, but also much better in the outfield as well. So we have Emmanuel Clase that now we have enough money to offer. So I don't want you to have a no trade clause. We will do, I actually don't mind the 4 years. What I want to do though is try to lower that amount a little bit, throw that on there. So I think that's a pretty fair contract for him. Hunter Green here, he's 29 years old. We're going to lower this to 4 years and submit that there. I guess we could leave that checked since we're re-signing him anyway, but it doesn't particularly matter. Joe Jimenez, he's older, but these are just solid relievers for us. Lower that to 4. So we have offers to all these guys, and then we have like Gavin Lux. We didn't really use him at the major league level. He's down to 2 stars, so he's not really that important for us. Spencer, he's actually worth a ton of money. So he is someone that $18 million for 3 years. Obviously, we wouldn't want to do that. We'd probably do it for 2, but that's just really risky because he can really start to regress pretty aggressively at any point. So he did have, 34 home runs in total? Or I guess this year, he had 34 home runs in total, which is a crazy good year, but he has only ever had more than 20, more than 30 one other time, and that was several years ago. So I kind of feel like we just let him go. I really wanted to bring him back, but now that we have Jason Dominguez, we have Pop with John Kinsey Noel still, we have Chase DeLauder, we have a lot of options out there, and he might just kind of just get in the way since we just don't really need him, which is kind of unfortunate. I mean, he played well for us, but we just got enough pieces, which is a good problem to have. Oh yeah, I went through, I offered all the minor league people already. So I'm pretty happy with the people that are on here. Chase DeLauder, 25, 20, 20, 20 home runs. So, I mean, he's been really consistent, over 270 average, just, broke his kneecap at the end of the year. So got a full year of playing, but unfortunately wasn't able to play at the end of the year. So then we can look at our team in general and see if there's anyone that's particularly interesting for us. So we're keeping Brent there. So I mean, our pitching was really good. And then if we look at our team averages, there's just well, now we have Jason Dominguez up there, but like 259 is your highest average hitter on your team is pretty bad. and I felt like our strategies were fine, so we're going to move forward a little bit. We're not going to worry about that. Just going to make sure that's all filled out. I've mentioned this before. When I get to this screen, I let the AI always handle it since I maximize the amount. I just don't really want to go through it all, and I don't notice it really having too much of an impact one way or the other, but I think it should have a big impact, or at least I would like it to have the potential. So all right, 10 minutes ago. All right, so we can place him on the active roster. Oh, I forgot about him. All right, so 23-year-old right fielder who probably won't be at the major league level with us unless we have some injuries, but getting some actually decent pickups from the waiver wire. I had forgotten about the waiver claims that we had made. The OG, or the other Jose Ramirez, it's not too good of a pitcher. I remember I had a save file where that guy randomly became like an Emmanuel Clase type closer. All right. So let's keep working our way through different things. We can look at the front office and make sure that these are maxed out. Still surprised the Rockies made it to the championship series. There's not really too much to do at this point. We've got rid of the players that we don't really need, so now we're past arbitration. We can look at the free agency filing, see if there's any international players that are crazy good. Actually, I'll offer him a minor league contract. I don't know if that actually helps your team or not to get, you know, a guy like this just randomly in your minor league, just like to sign one of the international people. I mean, like a guy like this, he's okay. For this much money, I feel like we can probably just give him $5 million and not have to worry about negotiating. And him being in the minors, like it's a pretty low risk contract. And then in the free agency, so we do have some potential guys to look at. So Francisco Alvarez is a very interesting player. We don't need Riley Green. Gabriel Moreno, very similar to Francisco as far as my interest in him. So just a bunch of... So a couple of these guys, see if there's anyone else that's a young prospect that we can throw a contract at. Doesn't appear to be the case. Now, Francisco Alvarez, he's durable. He's already a full solid 4 stars. He had 24 home runs last year. Would really solidify our first baseman position. We want to do, I feel like I want to do 6 years, but I feel like if we drop more than 2, he would reject that. We can't offer 32 for the first year, so we're going to go down to 27. We'll leave everything here the same, besides the no trade clause. We'll leave that off and leave all the other stuff that he desires on there. It's going to let us submit that, and keep an eye on that for sure. Gabriel is also interesting, but he's not, I mean, like a 282 average, 290, 251, so like a good hitter. But someone like Francisco he certainly seems like someone that's as good of a catcher hitter that you're going to be able to get. He had 39 home runs the year before, so he's never hit less than 10, but he's also hit more than 23 different times, and the year before he had 39, so that would certainly be a massive upgrade as far as catchers go, and would allow us to have Adley Rutschman still, but to kind of relegate him to being the backup catcher. Wow, he just straight up signed, so kind of crazy. So if you throw him in the roster, and we look here, it brings Francisco to be our 3-hitter. Creed we don't really need, which is fine. And then Adley Rutschman, it puts him as a DH, which is interesting. I don't necessarily disagree with it. I guess he still had 16 home runs, so that's something we can look at as we get closer into the season and see if we can. I mean, that's really. I guess we should check the pitchers. So we signed him. We signed him. We signed him. So we got a couple of just random prospects to throw in. Now at the Rule 5 draft, 2 things I want to do really quick. I want to look at our player development. So we're at 9th out of 30. So I mean, could be better. But this guy might be a beast. He's still not. I mean, he's 20, so I mean, he still has obviously time to develop. But we're gonna look here and see if there's anyone. So we're not worried about Franco Aliman getting claims, but we have a lot of Rule 5 players, so we want to protect him for sure. A good catcher, protect Chase as well, and really the rest of these guys, we're full. See if there's anyone that we can. Yeah, all these guys we can waive and designate for assignments. Sometimes these guys develop really well. I don't really want to risk throwing them off there. I mean, I guess we can. I don't really want to put Bender on the main roster. Troy, I kind of want to, just because I guess we can throw Franco on there as well. So the rest of these guys, we do want to kind of look to see, like, Arias would be, so I think we will take these guys off the roster. Creed will also waive and designate for assignment. Okay, so we can waive and designate him for assignment. So we can look here. See if there's anyone else, a relief pitcher. I kind of feel like we can. So I make sure that we don't lose any good prospects. Joey Oki. I don't generally. So keep him protected. Alright, that's about as good as we're going to do, so. We'll look here at the Rule 5 draft. If there's any sort of radical changes that we need to make, we can see that. So Creed, unfortunately, we no longer have him. A solid player, but we have a lot of depth now at catching, especially with that really big splash signing. There's no one really crazy as far as, you know, crazy high overall, so we're just going to not worry about trying to grief our 40-man any more than we've already done it. So we've only lost one player, and there's always a chance that we get him back, and what's nice is we don't really need him. We have Cooper Engel as our third-string catcher and outfielder as well. He's definitely someone that might get waived at some point, as we need to make room for our main roster, but we also have Francisco Alvarez to really hold down our catching position, hopefully for the whole season. The only thing that wouldn't would be an injury, but I kind of feel like we have. You're really refusing to be demoted? All right. I mean, that's fine. That's fine. Like when they're like, the fans are disappointed. It's like when you're a fan of Cleveland, they're going to be getting rid of players you like on a frequent basis. But we had about 5 more minutes. See how much. I think we can get all the way to spring training. As long as this screen doesn't take too long to get through. in the autosave. I think I have autosave once a year. I think it's less frequent. It's not every month. It allows the simulation or the sim time to be a little bit less, in my experience. I don't know why they're trying to improve his defense, but we let the AI handle his business. Otherwise, I would try to increase the power of literally every hitter and probably have a decent enough percentage success to have a appreciable effect. All right, so we got the budget there. Hasn't really changed. All right, fan interest 99, so pretty good there. Takes a while, but sometimes you're able to get the market size to actually go up a little bit as well. So we don't really have, what's kind of nice is like we're kind of set up pretty well for next year. Franco Alvarez is a fantastic catcher and will be a major upgrade to that position. I don't know if I really want Adley Rutschman being the DH, but at the same time, having multiple guys that can kind of be in that slot, that like DH slot that are just really good power hitters, I feel like that's not a bad position to be in. Like if we have, you just don't want to be dependent on any one of them. And I think that's a mistake that I get in is, I really like one player to potentially be the starter, and then I get kind of obsessed with having them be the only person that's there, or if the AI is like, we want this person to be there, and kind of disagreeing with that when really like that other person's going to be getting plenty at bats throughout the year, and we'll adjust things throughout. So yeah, we need to actually make our spring training roster, don't we? Gentry. Oh yeah, we have people that are injured as well. All kinds of a mess. Alright, so we're going to put him on the injured list. Scroll down. It's kind of annoying you have to take them off the disabled list in the off season. It should just automatically put them on when the spring training starts. No. We'll just throw AAA on there and then just move through the spring training. So we'll get to the regular season. We'll look at our main lineups and see what we're able to do. I feel like he's injured. Oh, no, I guess he wasn't. It was someone else that was. Miles Kennedy, he's a beast. Or Michael Kennedy. Michael, whatever his name is. Mr. Kennedy is a beast. Once again, John Kenzie Noel is trying to make a case for him to be the DH. Mickey Romero for Chase DeLauder and Ralphie Valquez, which I don't mind giving up Ralphie, but I certainly don't want to give up Chase, and we just don't really need a second baseman. I think we got enough depth in that position. At least I hope so. Adley Rutschman. Oh, he learned right field. What a useful thing. So now actually has some... Actually not the worst thing for him to learn an outfield position, so... Chances are he'll be a better defensive outfielder than John Kenzie Noel. But I mean, if Noel's gonna hit 25 home runs, like... I kind of want him to be in the lineup, even if he's batting, 220. Like, if he could bat, like, above 240 and hit above 20 home runs, then, he's arguably pretty important to have in the lineup. We'll look here. We're going to try to claim him. We probably won't end up getting him. Somebody else will probably claim him at some point. There's no one else that I'm really too interested in. But let's look here. Move up. Trey Sweeney, we're just going to release him. I don't know why. Okay. So like guys like this, I'm not really worried about keeping them on in our system. Jace Jung, he's fallen off. So we're gonna go ahead and just wave. I kind of want to keep Jace. No, Joe Jimenez, he's only a 2-star. Okay. That's not good. Alright, so. And Travis, he just never is gonna amount to much. You hate to see it. Alright, so he's actually a 2.5-star reliever. So now we have to get 3 more people off our roster. Most likely will just be pitchers. So we'll go to default. Looks like actually looks like we have enough pitching. Oh yeah, we have Ronaldo Lopez back. I forgot that we signed him. So we can actually just go ahead and just release both of them. Release them to the wild. And then we do need to make a spot for that waiver claim player. So I guess we can we demote him? We can just demote him straight up. And we can demote him straight up as well. We can look here at our hitting. So we have Francisco Alvarez. We have Francisco Alvarez that is up there. And then we have Enrico Jimenez that is the backup catcher, potentially. And then Adley Rushman that is DH, I'm guessing. Yeah, it looks like he is DHing for us. John Kinsey Noel is a backup outfielder. Jason Dominguez there. Matt Chapman. Oh, we got a 208. Let's look at our roster. He might be on the way out. Don't really have anyone potentially. So let's actually look at the waiver wire for hitters to see if there's anyone that's interesting in the middle infield. He's already being claimed, so that's probably not going to happen. Oh no, Cruz is on waivers. But looks like first and outfield, usually first baseman, so played just a tiny bit of third base. So no one really that's going to fix all of our problems. So we'll look here as well. Can he play third? That'd be kind of cool if he could. But we have him as well up here, so I'm a little worried about our hitting, to be honest. Let's look at our. So we have 25 people on there. So who is not on our 40-man? Probably not our catcher, right? Not our third catcher. There we go. No. All right. We need someone with a star. Or without the asterisk. I feel like he is, I just can't see it because his name's too long. I guess he wasn't. Okay, Dominguez, I just can't see his name. And there we go. Alright, so I think we can get him on our team. Roberto Barrios. So then let's look. Is our owner actually angry? He's upset. I've never seen the owner like actually just be happy. Sorry, we're making the playoffs every year. Sorry, I'm trying to deal with your cheapness. But so we have Jason Turio. Colt Keith is going to play second base. Francisco at the good old catching position. Jose De Paula will be our first baseman. Is actually claimed on waivers the outfielder. So it's kind of interesting they want him to be all the way up to there, at least against Right-handed pitching, Adley Rutschman, Cooper Ingle, Jason Dominguez, Matt Chapman, and Denzer Guzman. So we do have John Quincy Noel that is chomping at the bit to potentially get in there. I think he will still have a decent effect on our season as we move forward. Well, let's hope that we can. So we are at the start of the season, so we will go ahead and end the video here. So if you made it to this point, I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you all in the next one. Peace.